Today I'm working with Trilogy coaxial lines, LDF4 type of cable, or that's the standard they use. 50 ohm coaxial line, and it's an awkward spot. I have to be on the top of the ladder, and I choose this time of the job to record on purpose because it's not the most comfy position to work on. So I already used the stripping tool made for Trilogy. It's not a perfect design, but it's what I have to do and what I have to use. And I already prepped the cable, so I did a cable end preparation. You can see some leftover which I'm going to clean, but before doing that I'm using a cable cutting tool, and instead of using blunt force to cut the cable end, which is going to cause the cable to get oval, the cable end will oval at the tip, making harder to insert the tool. I just go around the cable. This is not for the experienced techs, it's for the new ones, or for those who do this type of jobs first time. So I grab the cable, I hold it. I have first the cable is straight. The portion I'm working with is nice and straight, and I grab the cable, I squeeze gently, and I start rotating, and I make a channel into the cable sleeve, and eventually it's going to cut into the aluminum or copper, depends on the cable you use, ground shield, and it's going to cut all the way to the central conductor. And you keep doing that because you want a nice round cut at the center conductor. If you just squeeze, you're going to have hard time to make a nice and round center cable conductor tip. So this stripping tool is not doing a really good job at forming and making that center conductor perfectly cone. So you may have to try a few times, you may have to clean up the debris inside of the tool, but it's not a good design. I spoke to the manufacturer engineer, and is the tool I have, the tool I'm going to use. So once I cut this one, I set my drill on the lower speed, so I don't just go fast, because it's going to cause a mess into the cable shield, and you may get injured. So set it at the lowest speed you can get. They said it's about 600 rotation per minute. So you set the drill, you put some force into it, push, and it's going to strip and get rid of the extra shavings. Once you have the cable end cut like that, you need to get rid of the spacer. So that you might see a spacer, plastic spacer here. This is a air dielectric. That's the reason they use spacers, to maintain the correct spacing between the center conductor and the ground. And you can use, for that purpose, you can use a pair of pliers. So pull that spacer out. You may need to rotate, squeeze, and pull it out. And then it's a glue that you have to take care of, and for that purpose I use a lighter, cigarette lighter. But first, before you do that, you have to watch around for heat sensors, smoke detector, heat detectors, all those things. You don't want to evacuate the building. If the building is set already. Okay, so you heat up that center conductor for a few seconds, and with a piece of paper you remove the glue, which is going to be kind of molted and hot, and so it's easy process to remove that glue. You can follow their procedure described in the manual using 3M abrasive sponge. but I can tell you this is giving you better results. A shinier cable is perfect, so you don't scratch anything. And you have to make sure this cable it's smooth, you won't find any edges here, otherwise you have to use a tool to remove these edges. You can use a file to round it nicely. Okay, so once I have that one prepared, I undo the connector a little bit. If it's tight, like that, it won't go too far, so you have to undo it a bit. Then you insert it on the cable and push. You will feel, okay, I feel it goes and it stops, it doesn't go any further. So I know that the center conductor is into the female side of this connector. So I'm holding this one, the top one, then by hand, and make sure this one is still plugged in all the way, and I tighten this one by hand. Then I use two tools, so I have to make sure I'm holding this one. I don't want to scratch the connector female side, the mating surface, and it's not the best comfortable position here, but you know, that's the way we build the country, little by little, effort after effort, and sweat after sweat. Right? I'm sweating a lot. Okay, so you feel it, and if it's properly done, this one won't spin. If it's not done right, if you did not insert it all the way, you will feel this spinning, so which is not good. So it has a lock-in mechanism built in that it was going to squeeze around the sleeve, and also is going to make a good ground connection right here. So it's not spinning, it's not turning on the cable, it's firm. And I have two connectors. I have to make sure I'm not bending it below the minimum bending radius, right? So it's going to sit like that until I get the splitters. And yeah, it's an awkward position here, but that's an easy way to do the Trilogy type of heliax connectors. Okay, be good at what you do and love what you do, so you do it well. Bye bye.